Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Fortin with Michigan Matters. Today's podcast is kind of special. We were discussing it prior to airing this live presentation, and we decided to do this together. I have Sheila Cahoon with me, and Sheila is our producer.
Yeah. Yes, I usually produce. I'm usually back there hiding away from everybody.
That's right. You are our, what did Rush have? Rush had, what was his buddy?
I have no idea.
Don't you remember his name?
No, I don't.
Oh, gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It was, oh, gosh, I'll remember it. But anyway, she's my producer.
Yes.
So anyway. But
if you see me doing stuff, I'm trying to produce and do this at the same time. So we're winging this today, so just bear with us.
That's right. Because there's so much going on. We talked about a couple of other podcasters out there, and there's one gentleman out there, I forget his name offhand, but he does 4 a day. There's so much going on. And it's a pretty good podcast, too. And also there's Redacted. It's a good one. I watched it yesterday, and that had interesting content. But there's so much going on, and what's really impacted me the last few days is naturally we're still stinging from Charlie Kirk and still thinking quite a bit about that poor young lady that was killed on that public conveyance by that Looney Tune creep. You know, this stuff's got to stop, ladies and gentlemen. We are at war, good versus evil, and good isn't doing much. And we're running around like a bunch of victims, not realizing we're at war while the bombs are coming in. And we have a church that burned down in Michigan and people killed and shot. And then we have the school shooting not long ago. I think it was at a Catholic church during Mass, I believe, and a couple of children killed. And every time, let me start this way. I got started in interest in politics in 1986. I became a precinct delegate. I did that because I was very interested during the Ronald Reagan years of the wonderful work he was doing. I was a auto worker, a UAW auto worker, and in 4 years, his first 4 years, and I had a young family, I actually noticed a real difference in the quality of my life in the first 4 years of his presidency. So naturally, I supported him for a second term. He won overwhelmingly. But then George Bush, his vice president, was going to run for the presidency, and I knew George Bush. I did not know him personally, but he's head of the CIA. He's a globalist. He could care less about America or our Constitution, and I was absolutely opposed to him. So that's when I got involved as a precinct delegate in the hopes that we get somebody else in there besides George Bush. But it's all history. The Bush family took over. They've been an overriding bunch ever since, and we've been in nothing but wars ever since. Wars we never win. But ever since I got involved, I kind of got off track. Ever since I got involved, that's all I've ever heard is gun control, gun control, gun control. In 1973, I became a life member of the NRA, and because I was sick of it. The Second Amendment is important, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very unique government. Our government states, and those of you that might be atheists and hate religion, I'll tell you what, you're not looking at things right. Our government states that our Creator has given us unalienable rights, and government's job is to protect those rights. So even if you don't believe in God, even if you ridicule religion, you have no idea how your personal rights are protected by such a concept. So now we live in an era, 30-some years later, where religion is more and more vilified and hated, and everybody's trying to change the Constitution, or ignoring it, I should say. And they still want gun control. And how many children have died in these gun-free zones all these years? And every time they do, it's a wacko. Really a wacko, huh? And every time it happens, there's a wacko out there killing a bunch of kids. And then the mantra after that is, take away the guns, take away the guns. In our conversation prior to this airing, Sheila mentioned to me the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is with a good guy and a gun. That's true. And it all happens so quickly, our police are nothing but body bag stuffers. That's all they are. They come in, no disrespect to them, but it's a fact. It happens in a few minutes. By the time they get there, you're sweeping up the blood, cleaning things up, and stuffing body bags. And the Looney Tune usually kills himself or might get killed in the process. You know, this gun-free zone stuff, these people, these school boards are not stupid. They know damn well that these children are unprotected. They know that it's a target because it's a gun-free zone. It's a sweet, soft target for creeps that want to kill kids. They know this. They're not stupid. These are educated people. They're not educating our children, but they are educated, and they know dang well that what they're doing. And the reason it became such a hot thing with me today is I talked to a local public official. I won't name it right now, but we might talk about it in the future, who in Shelby Township, I believe, Utica School District,
Yep.
I believe the police chief made an attempt to have armed people or armed police in the Utica school system.
Yes, I think that's what it is.
And the Utica school system is resisting that. The loons, the socialists that run that school system are not protecting the children. They could care less. They could care less.
And
Go ahead, dear.
so this elected official called me as well, and I'm going to say the same thing to everyone as I said to you and I said to him. I homeschool my son, and we did so in 2020. And when I did stuff for Moms for Liberty back in 2021, I said people are going to have to make sacrifices. If we're going to see any change, people have to make sacrifices, and they have to pull their kids out of the schools in order to get the schools to do something. And that still stands today as it did at that time, if not more so now. And so, you know, people can moan and groan all day long about the schools and about what they're doing in the schools, but if parents aren't going to school board meetings as a whole, as 150 group people, the school boards really aren't going to do much to pay attention to them, because they look at them like onesie twosies, like it's not a big deal, we don't care, whatever. So people like me, and I would have probably sent my son back to the public school system, but when I went to to L'Anse Creuse in 2021 to protest the masks, I was actually told to get off the property of L'Anse Creuse schools by the three administrators at that middle school, and that they were going to call the police on me, and they did. All because I wanted to talk to the bus drivers about going to a school board meeting. So I would have went back to the schools, but that just shows me what the administrators think of people like me, who are parents who want the best for their children. So I say all that, and we labeled this video, "You and I are the problem, and we're also the solution." Everybody has free will. We have free will to do what we want to do and make good choices, and we make bad choices. So we can choose to school our kids at home and not public school them at home, but actually homeschool them. Or we could send them to a person or group of people that actually have their brain for 8 hours. So if you want your child to have your ideals, your values, everything that you hold dear, why would you send them in front of other people that don't have those same values? Why would you continue to do that year after year after year after year? And what I told Mark and what I told this other person is that everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. Everybody is just, I gotta have the new phone, I gotta have the new car, I have to have the biggest house, I gotta have the whatever. And we have to make sacrifices. I want to move into a big house. I want to move north. But you know what? We can't, because I do real estate, but my husband is the main breadwinner, and I homeschool our son and do real estate. But my point is, like, my first job is a mom and a homeschool mom. That is not, that's not down the line. That's my first job. And moms jobs are to raise the children. The dad's job is to go to work. And if you want the dad to stay home and raise the kids, we actually have a dad in our co-op that does, and his wife goes to work, by all means, go for it. I mean, whatever works for your family. But keeping both parents out of the house and putting kids in front of people who don't have your values.
Socialists.
I'm not even saying socialist. I mean, there's a lot of kids that have had their brains changed in college in that direction. But my point is you don't know these people in the public school system. You don't know how they were raised, but yet you're putting them in front of those people, and those people are feeding the brains of your children.
I do know one thing about those people that are teaching the children. They could care less about their safety. After decades of school shootings, their only solution continually is collect guns. And I'm sorry, that's not the solution.
Well, I don't think that's the school problem as much as I think it is the Democrat way of doing things, right? We're going to take your guns. The conservatives want guns, and the only, like you said before, the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is to have a good guy with a gun. The church I go to, they are fully secure. There's nobody getting in our building that has a weapon, because our security knows. And we have a lot of people. It's very secure. And I don't understand why schools would not want an armed police officer or resource officer at their door in order to stop these people
Amen.
that have the guns. By all means, I don't own a gun, and I'm all for people who want to own guns. You do you. I think there's a lot of responsibility in it, and so I don't. I wouldn't mind having a gun, a non-lethal gun, right? One that has
Yes.
The things that really hurt you. But my point is, the only way the thugs don't care about laws, so why would they? They're not going to care if they walk into your church or into your school. They don't care. They don't care. So you have to have somebody there that can match, that can mirror the people that are walking in and wanting to hurt either your kids or the people in your churches.
Amen. But the beauty of the Second Amendment is that nobody knows. The beauty of having a concealed carry permit, nobody knows. So you don't have one.
No.
Nobody knows. So walking down the street, you get some thug and somebody looks like an easy target. They don't know. But if everybody's disarmed, I'd like to make one comment about that, if I may. Canada, Nova Scotia now, is currently doing a gun buyback, and the gun buyback ends on a certain date. I'm not sure what it is, but it's in the near future. And after that, if you have a gun, you are legally liable, and if you will be prosecuted if they discover you have a gun. But criminals will have guns. Look at our own government. Remember when our government under Barack Obama gave guns to the cartels, and the cartels shot at least one of our border people? Remember that? They ran that up the flagpole to say, oh, can we give terrorists guns? And nobody complained. So it's already happened where our government has given enemies guns as they try. The same ones, the damn Democrats, the same ones want to collect citizens' guns, but they gave it to cartels. So the government's corrupt, and they want to control us, and they got plans for us. The Canadians, speaking of Canadians, they got plans for you that you cannot suffer through, but they know they got to disarm you first before they go that far. And it's the same thing here. And we have to protect our rights, because even if you don't believe in that right, you're still protected by it, because a potential aggressor doesn't know if you're armed or not. Look at that beautiful blonde girl that was killed in that public conveyance a few weeks ago. She was attacked from behind unknowing. The creep had no idea if she could be armed or not, but he had her by surprise. And you ladies out there, and even you young men, quit walking around like this, okay? You're focused on that stupid little screen, and anybody can get the drop on you so easy, especially you girls. Quit walking around with these damn cell phones focused on that damn screen. Because look at what happened to her. She's sitting in that thing and she's scrolling on the screen. And this murdering dog came up behind her and stabbed her to death. She didn't even know what hit her. You kind of saw that. She was totally shocked, and she just bled out because she's studying that stupid cell phone. And our government is not prosecuting these people. The man has a record, and we keep letting him go. The bleeding hearts. Oh, he had a bad childhood. Who cares? He's still responsible for what he does.
Well, not to mention the other people that were in that subway or
Amen.
Train or whatever it was.
Isn't that sick?
Like, we can't stand idly by anymore and expect everybody else to save us. Like, if you aren't going to be a Charlie Kirk, then you might as well get out of the way, because like the only way we are going to save this country is if every single one of us gets involved in some way or another. That means by voting, that means by getting engaged and talking to your neighbors about things. Like, get out there and do something. If you don't have kids in school, that's okay. But at least learn what's happening in the schools so that you can educate others, and that way you know how to vote when things come up. There's people that don't even understand still what is happening in Chippewa Valley. It's just astonishing to me still 5 years later that we're still dealing with the craziness at Chippewa Valley. It's just astonishing to me. So, we all need to do our part to get involved. And if you're going to sit on the sidelines, then you're the problem. You are the problem, not the solution. You have to be, we're all the problem, but we are all the solution. And if you aren't getting involved, if you aren't educating others, if you aren't learning something, then you're continuing to be the problem and not the solution. So we need everyone involved.
It has been 5 years.
Yeah.
So the first grader 5 years ago is now a sixth grader.
Yep.
And much older and been mentally influenced by these people all this time.
And if we think it's only at the colleges, that's not the case.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
the colleges were that before, but it's infecting it. And I call it an infection. I call it a virus because it's literally infecting our kids' brains. I'm thankful I have, I can teach my son. And we even talked about that. Like, people are like, well, I can't do it. I'm not a teacher. Did you have a kid? Did you have a child? God gave you that child to raise. It even says it in the Bible. You were the first one that child learned from. Walking, talking, crawling, laughing, everything. They mock everything that we do. You are their teacher. You are their very first teacher, and you can do it. I didn't get a degree in schooling, but I teach my child the things that I want him to know. And yes, it's math and history and science and all those things, but they're the ideals that I hold dear to us, not someone else. And I can do it just as much as you can. The people that say that they cannot do it don't even understand what homeschooling is. And it's not public schooling at home.
And you have to remember something else, too, that we all should clearly understand. Many people are criticizing Trump for wanting to get rid of the Department of Education. The Department of Education was started by Jimmy the Jerk Carter in the 1970s. That's the biggest failure of Ronald Reagan, is not destroying that when it was an infant. Education has gone not just downhill, off the cliff since then. Our children used to be able to read. Our children used to be able to write in cursive. Our children could understand. We had the best education system in the world, and now it's the worst. But more money all the time, that'll fix it. More money, more money, more money.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
it's terrible. It's got to be dismantled. Department of Education must go.
Yeah, I mean, all those years ago when I was growing up, we didn't have as much money, and our system was so much better.
It was.
I mean, it had its issues, but my point is it was much better. We learned the basics. And so more money doesn't constitute better grades. It never has correlated to that. So if we aren't going to have people there doing the basics, doing what we need them to do, our kids are still going to be,
Yeah. And so,
and they're gonna be in the lower percentile for reading and math and all the other things that they're struggling with.
in foreign countries are educating their children.
Exactly.
Big time.
Yep.
So here we are. What a mess we're in for decades. And Trump's trying to fix it. We got even some Republicans dragging their feet, and that's got to stop. He has a mandate. And I don't care if you're a Democrat senator or a Republican senator. Get off your dead butt. The American people have spoken. They don't want this stuff. They want to change. And now they're closed down government. Oh, we got to close down government because they want to give money to illegal aliens for health care. No, they're illegal alien. You remove them from the country. That's what you do with the illegal alien. You don't give them health care. So we wind up with no health care. It goes broke because we're so much in debt because we're giving it away willy-nilly to everybody that sneaks across the border. No.
And I would just like to say, as a homeschooling mom, I do have a business and stuff like that. I don't know everything about everything. Everybody has a talent. Everybody has their piece of the pie that they can work with. The stuff that's the shutdown. I don't know everything about it, and I don't need to know everything about it. Okay? It right now doesn't affect me at the moment. So I will consume what I can, and it's okay to do that. Don't feel like you have to know everything about everything. If you can only do this, then do this. But you have to be somewhat engaged. If you're only just looking at your phone and just saying, I got to check out from this world because this world is crazy, well, it's not going to get any better by you checking out. Everybody has to be involved. So we got to do it.
We all have to try to be a Charlie Kirk, like many people are saying.
Yeah.
I'm a Charlie Kirk. We all have to speak the truth.
Yep.
We all have to get involved. Our country's on the very edge. We have a chance to save it. And I think we should take advantage of that, and we have to be more engaged in society. And I'm glad we started this. We talked for about a half hour and realized, well, why aren't we just doing it?
Yep.
I mean, talking about the exact things we're talking about now.
And I wanted to give a shout out because I know there's a new Moms for Liberty representative in Macomb County. If you happen to catch this, I think her name is Alicia Childs. If you catch this video, I may try to put it in the comments or something, but reach out to me. I'll put my phone number in the comments. And I think you're wanting to start meetings, but Moms for Liberty back in 2021 was there for parents. The problem is and I can share history about it, but parents usually get fired up about an issue, and then as soon as the issue is resolved, they're like, okay, well, I don't need to do anything else. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. If you want change, you have to be part of that change, and you have to be encouraging others to come and be part of that change. So anyways, if you're watching, please reach out to me, and I'll put my phone number in the comments of this video.
And also, the lady that you're going to suggest from Macomb County, no matter where you live, excuse me, contact that lady because there may be a group near you. This is important statewide.
There's Moms for Liberty all over the state. There's one in Wayne County, and I think there's still one in Oakland County. But even if there's not, find a TPUSA chapter. I mean, there's just so many groups to get involved with. You can call the office here at Michigan Matters, and they can get you connected with groups around the city and around the county as well. So.
So anyway, I'd like to thank you all for being with us. I'd like to thank Sheila for...
Do we have any upcoming events happening?
Next Tuesday, we have our euchre night, next Tuesday. I believe the information is on the website. It's next Tuesday. I think it's $25 in the evening. People are having a lot of fun playing euchre, and we've been doing it on a kind of a regular basis. But Tuesday, I believe it starts at 6. I don't have the flyer in front of me. I'm a little unprepared. So anyway, There's also going to be a movie night, and it's interesting. It's just to get people together. The movie night is only $5. It's not about making money. It's about paying for I think they're having like pizza and stuff and snacks and that kind of thing for movie night. And I think it's the Ronald Reagan movie, I believe. And but I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's on the website. So check that out. And I forget the date. That's a little bit further. The Euchre night is next Tuesday.
Well, they can either look on the website. I'm not sure it's on the website yet. I think they have to get it uploaded. But you can look at the calendar. It's usually on the calendar on the website. So make sure if you don't see any of the events on the events page, just go to the calendar page and you should see it on the calendar.
Yep, MichiganMatters.org.
Yep.
There's a donate button there too, if you're so inclined. We could use a little bit of help. And but keep praying for America, okay? We need all the prayers we can get for this country. And there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of good going on, but I think there's a lot of theater going on too. We don't know exactly, and that's the problem with this AI stuff. What's true, what's not, blah, blah, blah. You got to kind of pay attention. But God bless all of you and our families, and thank you for joining us.